You don't like doing sales calls, nor do I, nor do any of my clients, and I'm going to assume that you're the same. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to sell 1 to 5K coaching programs without ever getting on a phone. In fact, I'll teach you how to sell them over the DMs in a matter of minutes. You ready to learn? Let's get stuck in. One of my best clients, Simon Johnson, built a business from literally nothing to 80K per month, said to me at one point that I literally dreaded getting on a sales call. And it was at that point that I said to him, we need to fix this and install this system into your business so that you're not at risk. Right, I'm gonna teach you this process and I'm gonna boil it down really, really simple. There's 3 things that you need to have in play when it comes to selling without a sales call. Here it is. The first thing is to produce content that then gets people to DM you. One of the most important measures of your content is how many inbound inquiries it generates. The more DMs you get off your content, people saying, how does it work? That really stood out for me. That really resonated, creates the opportunity for a sales conversation. So anytime that somebody DMs you about your services or inquiring, they are really intentional. And here's a really important piece. That intention is fleeting. It's not going to last forever. They've seen something, it's triggered an emotion, and most importantly, you need to act on it. You need to respond as quickly as possible. Now, I'm going to focus this first and initially on you so that you understand the process. And once you understand this, then you can pass it off to somebody else to do it for you. Once you then have a DM, the next part is crucial. It's what happens in between that determines whether or not they buy or they don't buy. So what do? Whenever we have a DM conversation, we want to focus on leading the conversation. And we lead the conversation in 4 different ways. Here's what happens. The first thing is they reach out and they say something along the lines of, hey, how can I work with you? Hey, that post really resonated, X, Y, and Z. What we first of all want to do is we want to identify where their pain is. And we want to go deep, fast. And how do we do that? Well, we respond with a very simple prompt like, hey, first name, thanks for reaching out. What resonated most about the post? Tell me a little bit more about your circumstances right now. That question is going to get people to open up straight away about their pain point. You then want to double down on that pain. How do you do that? Well, real simple. What have you tried before and why hasn't it worked? So you double down on that pain point before you move to the next level. And in between each level, you want to let them know that you're there and you're present. I'll stick by my phone for the next 20 minutes and keep an eye out for your message. So you keep the tension there. They will come back with, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried this. That's where you get them at rock bottom. The next thing that you want to focus on is trust. Thanks so much for sharing all that with me. What makes you reach out to me in particular? What this does is it gets them to sell themselves. Well, I've been following you for a while. By the way, anytime you hear the words, I've been following you for a while, I've consumed a lot of your content, you know you're going to get paid. So whenever you hear those words, you've got a lead that's consumed content of yours recently and has consumed a large volume. In fact, those 2 things are massive. Recency and volume of consumption. Once you get the trust, then you go into goals. Thanks so much for sharing. Tell me, what would need to be true if we were to work together in the next 90 days or 6 months if you were to become a private client? Get them to open up and then double down just like you did on the pain. When they share their goals, share something along the lines of, why do you want to do this now? Is there anything important coming up? And again, every time that you move around and send a response, I'll hang by my phone and look forward to seeing your answer. Thank you so much for sharing all this. The faster they reply, the more intentional they are. You might find that if they take a little bit longer in between, like 2 or 3 days, you're starting to lose the attention. Don't ever be afraid to put bump, a little pointy finger to just say, hey, just in case you missed this, I know you're busy. The fourth is the next step. Thanks so much for sharing. Look, based on everything that you've shared with me, I'd love the opportunity to work with you. I can definitely help you achieve 1, 2, 3. Where do you want to go from here? They'll come back with, well, how does it work? How does it get started? And that's normally where you would say to somebody, hey, let's jump on a call and talk about it. But what's the point? They've already shared their pain, they've shared their goals. They just want to know how to get started. Here's what you reply with. You reply with a Loom. Before you send the Loom, here's what you say. Look, I don't do sales calls. I'm going to put together a Loom video for you that runs you through exactly how I can help you, how the program works, when we can get started, and investment and all the other core details. Are you cool if I shoot this up and send it over to you in the next 20 minutes? And I break everything down into what I call the 5 core drivers of an offer. The first thing that you need is a plan, so you know exactly what to focus on. The second thing is you need training on these core areas, these key subjects, so you can make better decisions. The third is you need accountability and support, so you never get stuck. Here's how it works, run through your system. And the last thing you need is community. You want to be surrounded by people who understand you, get you, and hold you to a higher standard than you can hold yourself. These are essentially your deliverables. The next thing that you need to provide is clarity on the 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. If this sounds like everything you need, here's what happens next. You make payment, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. So they know exactly what happens. Here's the way the investment works. It's super simple. Here's what I charge for my time. Here's what it rolls into after a set period of time. But let's just say that you charge for the first 3 months is something like 2K. And then it goes into a rolling payment of $350 a month thereafter. It goes on and on and on, and you cancel whenever you like. We keep most clients for 12 plus months, and you frame the pricing. The next thing is the call to action. And the call to action is, look, I've run through absolutely everything. You've seen my content, you know what I'm about. I understand your pain points. I can help you with your challenges. There's 3 options from here. 1, I'm in. Everything sounds kosher and I'm ready to get started. As soon as this happens, I'll send you over a payment link. We'll get it started and rock and roll. Everything will flow through. Number 2, I'm in, but I'm having a baby. I'm going on holiday. I'm moving house. Here's my promise to you. It's not a definite yes or it's not a definite no. And I always like people to put their money where their mouth is and put down a deposit so that they can lock their space in. Or, last but not least, this is a definite no, it's not for me, I'm not aligned, and I never want to see you again. Chances are it's going to be an in, I'm in. Especially if they've shared all this insight with you and gone back and forth. If they ghost, cool. Follow them up in 24 hours. Jane, did you get the Loom? Did the link work okay? Follow up in 48 hours. Jane, you've gone quiet, did something go wrong? Follow up in 72 hours. Jane, question mark. If they don't respond, move on. And then it's just down to you closing. That's how you sell without sales calls. People feel safer. You can pre-record this and send it. This is perfect for you if you're under 30K per month. And if you want help implementing this into your business, there's a link below this video to connect with our head of client relations, and they'll run you through exactly how to integrate this into your business and, most importantly, how to set up the back-end systems to make sure that your clients get insane results, pay, stay, and refer, and fuel your marketing. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you love growing your health and fitness business.